Well, good morning everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another scenery review. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, with you again, and we are in the Far East again, in the Philippines to be specific, and this is Davao International Airport in the Philippines at Romeo Papa Mike Delta, also known as Francisco Bangoy International. It's a payway scenery by AIRWIL Sceneries, and this is version 1 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. So the download is 1 gig, and it actually installs at just under a gig. It's currently available from Sim Market. I'll give you the prices. It's €14.39, which equates to roughly $14.03 US, or £12.44 UK. The US and UK prices are estimates, and all prices include VAT and tax, which of course may vary depending on the country you are in when you make your purchase. I should say that I contacted AIRWIL Sceneries to try and get a copy of this scenery for review, but I did not receive a response, so I actually bought it, and I will fly in here, and obviously I'm going to review the scenery as well. So just a few things right off the bat. It's quite an extensive scenery. The airport is really nicely done. No real complaints about that. It's actually done as per the real world. You can see here there's taxiways under construction, just as it is in the real world. But they've also left the old terminal in so that you can experience what it was like when that terminal was actually operational. But no, it's really nice. No real complaints about this on my first thoughts, and as you can see, it's in a lovely location. And the other thing I like about this scenery is the extensive work that's been done on the outlying areas of the airport, all the buildings. I mean, it's just typical Philippines. If any of you have got the Manila scenery for Flight Sim 2020, you'll know what I'm talking about. So just go through the list of features for you. So more than 250 custom modeled 3D objects, the old Davao Airport Terminal with interior modelling, the new Davao Airport Terminal, again with interior modelling, Davao Control Tower Cab, and also with interior modelling, moving ground vehicles on the ramp area, moving ground vehicles at the terminal parking area, highly detailed terminal parking area, work in progress, parallel taxiway, which I've just pointed out to you, popular Davao City landmarks. There's a series of landmarks that they put in there. Filipino houses, Filipino jeepneys, Malingaya taxi, Davao Metro shuttle bus, Mindanao Star bus, highly detailed vicinity surrounding the airport to capture the city feel, color corrected ortho photo, and much more. So as you can see, it's a huge project, and to be right honest up front, I think the price is incredible considering the work's been done. It's really impressive, and also right down to the port here, which you can see in this image below. So as ever, let's get down to a bit of history and explain a bit about this airport. Okay, history for you. Davao International Airport, Romeo Papa Mike Delta, also known as Francisco Bangoy International, is a publicly used airport serving Davao City and the entire Davao region in the southern Philippine Islands. It is the busiest airport on the island of Mindanao, and the third busiest in the Philippines after Ninoy Aquino International in Metro Manila and Mactan Cebu International Airport in the Lapu City. The airport is owned by the Philippines Department of Transport and is operated by Davao International Airport Authority. Davao Airport is a hub for PAL Express Airlines, Philippine Airlines, and Philippines Air Asia. And the airport is a focus city for Cebu Pacific Airlines. The airport began operations in the 1940s with a donation of land in Barangay Sara, located in the Bahingin district of Davao City, by Don Francisco Bangoy, the then current patriarch of an influential family that founded and settled Davao alongside Don Jose Uranguren, the founder of modern Davao City. At the time it began operation, the airport merely consisted of a 3,900 foot or 1,200 metre unpaved grass runway with concept huts serving as terminal buildings. At the time, and throughout much of the 1940s and 50s, both Philippine Airlines and the Philippine Air Force provided air service to and from the city. By 1959, the complex consisted of a small control tower and several low-rise buildings. Right-of-way and access to the terminal buildings and the airport were improved through further donation of land by Pasiano Bangoy, Francisco's son. A new terminal designed by Filipino architect Leandro Locsin, with a capacity of 1 million passengers, was constructed in 1980, and the runway was progressively extended from its original length to its current length of just over 9,000 feet in length. Rapid growth at the airport led to the construction of a 15 million peso or $254,000 international terminal beside the airport's pre-existing terminal, and eventually to a new, much larger terminal building which would consolidate the two existing terminals. In planning since 1992, construction began in 2000 and subsequently inaugurated in December 2003 with a capacity double that of the old airport terminal. The construction of a 2.7 billion peso or $45 million building was funded by both the Asian Development Bank and the European Investment Bank. Total cost of the project amounted to $128 million US. In November 2007, Cebu Pacific announced that the airport would serve as its third hub. Likewise, Philippine Airlines, the country's flag carrier, also announced the airport its third hub in March of 2018. The Republic Act 11457, also known as the Davao International Airport Authority Charter, was signed by the then President Rodrigo Duarte on August 30th, 2019. This law creates and establishes the Davao International Airport Authority, which handles all airports in the Davao region, including Francisco Bangoy International, the airport we're looking at now. A Philippine Tourism Development Plan was released by the Department of Tourism, which includes Davao International Airport, and bidding for the construction of the parallel taxiway has been completed, and the construction is expected to begin in due course. So that about wraps up the history for you. As you can see, this airport's been around a long time, and it's one of many rather important airports in the Philippine Islands. Been in use for a long time, certainly by the air forces in the previous years, and construction's been ongoing. So that does it for history for the moment. Let's go have a look at the runways and see how they match up to the charts. Okay, runways. As you can see, I've lowered the lighting for the evening. The sun's just disappearing behind the mountains there. Let's just have a look at this now. So Davao International Airport operates a single runway, 2305, measuring 9,839 feet or 2,999 meters in length, and it's made from a concrete asphalt mix. The airport lies at an elevation of 93 feet or 28 meters. At both ends of the runway feature a standard instrument landing system, as well as RMP and VR approach options. Again, both runways also have standard airfield lighting system and precision approach path indicators on both sides of the runway. So here we are currently looking down the throat of runway 23. You can see it has everything that it's supposed to have. It also has the touchdown zone and centerline lighting here. Here are the PAPIs on either side, and they've got the standard airfield lighting system, but they've also added sequenced approach lights here on the front end of it, which pretty much mirrors what the ALS system should have. So pretty much as per the charts here. Let's go and have a look at runway 05, the other end. And once again, here we are now looking at the other end of the runway, runway 05, looking towards the north. And again, you can see the PAPIs on either side of the runway, centerline lighting. Both ends also have the end identifier light system, and here you've got the sequence lights, or the ALS system that's common to this type of approach system. So that's pretty cool with the runways. Everything checks out as per the charts. So let's have a look at jetways. Okay folks, here we are on stand 3, and as you can see, I've connected the tug. Let's just test the jetway and see if it connects to my aircraft. Looking good. Modelling's quite nice on the Jetway. Right, okay, once again, like many others, it's gone through the skin, but it's not a problem. Let's have a closer look. So there you can see it's connected to the doorway, that's fine, but it has gone through the skin. But all in all, looks pretty good, looks fine. So let's retract it. So there we go, we can confirm that the jetways work in this scenery perfectly okay, or at least as good as any other jetways in any other scenery. And there you go. So there we are, you've looked at the jetways, or we've looked at the runways and a little bit of history. Let's get down and explore this airport proper. So to begin with, we'll just look at the ramp generally, take a few local shots here so you can see the lie of the land. As you can see, detailing, modelling is beautiful. Terminal looks weathered. Here you can see the weathering on the terminal. Lots of ground clutter, much of it unique to this particular airport. The ramp texture looks wonderful. All the ground markings are as they should be. Lots of oil and skid marks. Everything really is really nice. There's the airport sign. And just looking in the other direction there, again, here we go, lots of airport clutter, vehicles, bits and pieces. Again, lots of weathering on the buildings. Markings on the ramp are excellent. They've really done a nice job. In some ways, some of this looks a bit clean, but I believe this is how it looks in the real airport, so really does look quite impressive. Let's have a little tour across the airside ramp from sort of north to south, as it were. And let's just have a look at some of the detail. So we start from the very threshold of runway 23 going south, and you can see the detail on the right, some of these buildings, and below us here you can see the taxiway that's under construction currently. Some lovely trees, palm trees, foliage, the fence line there works. And as we come to this GA hangar, looks really good. And here, of course, you can see the construction works themselves going on. Just notice the vehicle going onto the runway there, which is not a good thing. However, we'll come to that in a minute. But here we go, passing over the ramp quite slowly. The weathering extends even to the top of the building, which is quite impressive. It's really nice to see this. The detail's lovely, very impressive. Let's get a look inside the control tower, which I believe is developed. So looking from the outside, we can't really see anything. Let's go inside and have a look. So here we are inside the control tower, and as you can see, there is internal development. A couple of animated guys, some screens and stuff, and all looks really cool. But I suppose what doesn't really impress me is the fact you can't see this from outside of the building itself. The windows are not transparent, or they haven't been modelled in such a way that you can see what's inside from the outside, which is a little unusual. However, they modelled the inside of the control tower, which is great. Let's continue the tour. So here we've got the fire station just in front of the control tower, and again here you can see the road markings going all the way up to the threshold of runway 05. And in addition, you've got the fence line fully extended, some lovely palm trees, and as you can see from here, lots of work's been done on the outside exterior environment away from the airport. So let's go back towards the terminal and have a look at what's going on here. Just going down a little bit lower, there you can see the car park landside of the control tower. Some very nice modelling here. Really nice road signs there. Just going to try and slow this down so you can get a good look at what's been modelled. It's beautifully done, I have to say. The detail is every bit as good as some of the high-end models that I've seen. The cars are great. Much of what you see is unique to this airport or unique to the Philippines. So just stop here for a minute. You've got people there and they are slightly animated. Let's just go a bit closer to the terminal. The signage is lovely. The outside of the terminal looks good. And you can see the advertising hoardings and various cars all parked in the car park and close to the terminal, which is great. I'll just continue a landside tour. Oh, there you go. It's got some lovely buses. There's a jeepney down there as well, which is another well-known Philippine type vehicle. There's some more. We'll look at them closely in a minute. Going across the bus park here towards airside. It's very, very nicely done. So just a close-up shot here of some of the modelling of the buses. There's these are what they call jeepneys, I believe. You can see the registration on them. Okay, this isn't the greatest modelling in the world. It's all kind of box-shaped, but it works. To be honest, you're not going to see this as a pilot when you pull up to the terminal, but they've done a really nice job. And here's a view just looking across the landside car parking area, and the detail is lovely. Not so much reliance on photo scenery around the airport environment, which I'm really pleased with. They've really nicely modelled the whole thing. The car park, all of the parking spaces are properly delineated, the buildings look nice, structures are clean and crisp with a certain amount of weathering. It just looks lovely. Let's go a bit further landside to the environment here. So here you've got hotel structures and other bits and pieces. I'm not entirely sure what this piece is here, something I'll have to look up, but clearly it's part of the airport. But let's just have a little look over here. So a bit more in the way of photo ground scenery here as you get landside, but again the modelling is nice and it works. It looks lovely. There you go, McDonald's there on the left with the drive-through. And really nice structure there on the left. That I presume is a hotel building of some sort. Beautifully done. So we've got a little bit more photo scenery modelling here in terms of the roads. But as you can see, lots to explore here, lots to see and explore. Is that Kentucky Fried Chicken? No, something entirely different. But loads to explore. It would have been nice if they detailed this road. I think they've made such an effort with the stuff that's on the side of the road here. Would have been nice to detail this particular road or highway. And going in towards the airport here, more detail. Also looks like military vehicles. The whole thing looks great. It just really sort of speaks of loads of attention, lots of work here. It's definitely worth the price. Animated security guards there at the main gate, and another one here. More airfield clutter. Here we are at the rear end of the fire station, and there's a basketball court. Excellent. Nice fire station models, no problems with that at all. And of course here they are promoting their own product. And again the fire station, okay, it's fairly basic, but the building is okay, it's weathered, and the fire station models are excellent. So as you can see from this high level shot, there's an awful lot of work that's been done to bits and pieces that are off the airport, outside the airport. Some of the buildings have been developed and replaced. Little bit more reliance on photo scenery, which is a pity, but there's so much here to see, which is really impressive. There on the right you can see the old apron. This is the old apron. We're going to have a look at that in a second. But as you can see from this shot, it's a beautiful scenery in a nice location. The Philippines is known for volcanoes and mountains, and you can see them there in the distance. Be an amazing place to fly into. Certainly lovely little hour-and-a-half trip from Hong Kong, for example. Let's go and have a look here at the old terminal. So heading north, here we are going towards the old terminal, which has been left in the scenery for you to see. And yeah, look, same attention to detail here. A couple of private jets. I mean, that looks really nice. Ramp looks just as good as the other ramp. Again, lots of interesting buildings. There's your military helicopters. There's the VOR station below. Alright, so we've got military stuff here as well, with just basically photoreal ground. So quick look at the port while we're here. So again, photoreal ground with developed proper buildings. Some of them are more developed than others, that have been placed into the scenery. Looks better as you go higher up, and as you can see, the port looks wonderful. Again, it's development placed on low resolution scenery, which is a bit of a pity in some ways, but basically you can't ignore it for the price. So there's an awful lot of work that's gone on in here. I was looking in that direction there, and you can see just tons of cargo containers. And looking sort of west towards the bay there, again more ships, containers, bits and pieces going. It looks really good. Okay, so before we go inside the terminal to have a look, which is developed according to the features list, let's just show you the view from the cockpit. This is what you'll see when you pull up to one of the stands. There's a view from the first officer, from the captain's side, and a very nice detailed view looking across the first officer's side. So just very quickly, before we go inside the terminal, let's just have a look at the airside road and the clutter and the bits and pieces here on the airside part of the terminal. Things that you will see from the cockpit when you park up. And again, you can't ignore the detail and the work that's gone on here. The clutter looks great. Ground power units there on the left, signage on the right, air stairs, mobile stairs. Okay, the buses look a little bit blocky, but you know, no real complaints about that. Looks good, looks really good. It's very impressive. So let's pop inside the terminal airside and see what development's been done. Okay, just a quick look first for you to see as we've literally just entered the building on the upper level. Engineers here, and you've got some work here. This all looks quite nice. My only sort of weird thing is you can see out into airside through those windows, but they're actually opaque when you look in from outside. You can't look in from outside. Be interesting to see what this looks like at dusk. So we'll come to that shortly. But here's the airside bit here with the windows. Let's just go inside. So there you've got an airside lounge with an engineer or a dispatcher, whatever you want to call him, at literally every point, which is nice to see. And the same looking in the other direction. Let's go down to the lower level and see if there's anything below this. So as you can see from this shot, it's partially done. The building is complete, as it were. It's got a roof, it's got sides. Here you can see out through here. Not sure that you're supposed to, because I can't see any thing on the outside of the building as we've travelled up the road. But the inside of the building is complete, but obviously on the lower levels certainly there's nothing here. Again, you've got this corridor here that's been duplicated on the other side, and again looking the other direction. Let's just move forward here. So there you can see the development is pretty much the same as it was that we looked at a moment ago. I want to go down to the end here and just see if there's any difference, as it were. It's unusual to have the windows from the outside designed the way they are, such that you can't see in, but the moment you go in through the windows you see all of this. Okay, so all of this is done as per the rest of the airside lounge. So you've got development, and it's done to a nice standard. Quite simplified, but interesting to see engineers there rather than airline staff. Let's go landside. Right, again, before we enter the building, just a little look on the landside pavement area to show you what we can see. Signage looks good. Again, you've got here windows that are pretty much opaque. Be interesting to see what we can see from the inside. So let's go inside. I'm just looking to see where the doors are. Okay, they've got arrivals and departures marked. So here we go. We just stop here. Couple of sort of routine sort of people. Let's just step inside here. Right, as you can see, a lot more development here. Let's just raise up a little bit. So yeah, very, very nicely done. Signage, display board up there on the left. We've even got the toilets there. So they have chosen to actually put some representatives behind the check-in desks, but unfortunately they're engineer models rather than airline staff. But no real problem with this at all. It looks nice. It's indicative of what the terminal should be. That roof design looks good. Let's just go down this end first. So there are your various check-in desks, all with the different airlines, and again, signage looks great. So tracking back the other way on a slightly higher level, it's nice. It's no problem at all there. Looks really, really nice. So having checked in, I would assume you've come up the stairs, and here you've got doorways to what I think would be the departure lounge. Let's just pop through and see what's been developed. So there is no internal development beyond this. You've got the landside check-in area here that's been developed in such a way that you can see here, and you've got the airside gate lounges, and that looks to be the limit of the development that they've done, even though the building itself is complete. Let's have a look at these departure boards. Okay, they're a bit blurred up close, and they look a little bit better further away, but it's interesting that they're not as high resolution as the display signs you've got elsewhere here. Nice female and male toilets here, which is good. No problem at all there. Let's just have a closer look landside outside the terminal. So as we track over here slowly, you can see signage looks great. You've got some buses. The car models are good. I love the palm trees. Real good atmosphere here out amongst the car park. A life sphere. I should maybe do some research on that, and that's probably what that building is on the right there. Oh, life is here. Okay, I misread it. My apologies. But as you can see, apart from the airport, this place is loaded with scenery. Some of it really, really well developed, some of it not quite so developed. I mean, the terminal interior is done, but not to the higher standards that you see from some models, but again, perfectly adequate. And as a pilot, you're not going to see it. But for the price here, this is just wonderful. It's just wherever you look, there's all sorts of things to discover. So there you go, we've had a look around the ramp, inside the control tower, inside the terminal, and a little look at what's going on around here. Let's drop the light down to dusk now and have a look at the lighting, both on the airport itself and around the environment. Okay, it's 5:20 in the evening, and as you can see, the sun has disappeared below the mountains on the other side there, and the lights have come up. Just to remind you, it's really difficult to get that slider to move sort of minute by minute. You really can't do it. It would be nice if Asobo had some fine adjustment so that you could adjust the time by minute to the very point where the lights come on, so you can see what that looks like. Because dusk, certainly in places like this part of the world, dusk turns into night pretty quickly. But here you can see some very nice subtle lighting around the airport. And looking down the runway towards the threshold of 05, which is here, again, the lighting here looks perfectly okay. We'll get a close-up look in a minute. But the whole sort of area here looks lovely. There's the threshold of runway 23. Here's the old terminal area below us, and here you've got vehicles going onto the runway. This unfortunately is a bit of a showstopper for me and really kind of spoils it. You really do not want vehicles taxiing or going up and down the runway. Taxiways like this guy is, yes, perfectly okay, but please guys, not on the runways. Good lighting here. Nice to see the cruise ships lit up as well. So a quick look at the terminal with the view from inside the cockpit here. This is looking across the first officer's window. This is what you'll see when you park up at dusk. And looking out the captain's window. Jetway looks perfectly okay. Stand numbers marked, and the terminal looks good. As you can see, you can't see anything through this glass, even though there is development in there. You can see out from in, but you can't see in from outside, which is unusual. However, there you go. So a quick look out towards the runway here. So there's the taxiway. It's under construction, which isn't lit, just as you would expect. Nice lighting out here. Okay, you've got the obligatory crosses there, so you can't use this taxiway to get to the runway because it's not complete, so that's good to see. So as before, let's just have a pass along the airside ramp at dusk and look at the lighting. Here's this little January aviation area with the two jets. No Asobo globes in sight, which is lovely. As we come down here, look. So you've got minimal lighting. The lights are as they should be. But you're going to need your nose gear light really to get off the ramp, the taxiway, and actually hit this area, because the light doesn't extend out that far. It's perfectly acceptable, but it doesn't extend out very far, certainly not with regards to some sceneries I've seen. But the lighting is lovely. It's very subtle. Control towers lit there as well. Blue airfield edge lighting that's come across to the fire station, which is one of the areas you'd expect to be lit, and of course it is. Very nice. So it's just come across landside. This is very nice. Look, even the security control center box is lit. I like that. So cargo loading area, one or two Asobo globes around now, but no complaints really. Buses, it's lovely. It's really nice. Beautifully lit. This is another really nice scenery, and the more I look at this, the more I'm beginning to feel that the price is a real steal. Okay, this isn't exactly top-notch, crisp modelling that you see from the likes of some of the top designers, but they've done a lot, and it works. I'm sorry, but it works. It does work. It's lovely. Very impressive scenery. Let's just go down the road here, have a closer look at this building. And again, as we go further off the airport here, lighting is excellent. Now again, in the building there you can see it's been nicely done, but you've got the same situation where you can't see in through the windows. There's been no attempt to sort of do parallaxing or anything like that. So okay, lots of floating Asobo globes. But here's McDonald's. And again, you see the buildings. They've used this technique to light some of the buildings on the left there that we've just passed. This is, I'm assuming this is a stadium of some sort. I mean, there's nothing written on it to tell you exactly what it is. Let's have a look. So I go a little bit further off airport. And here you can see examples of just some of the work that they've done to enhance some of the buildings locally. It does look nice. Done a nice job. So coming across the port there you can see lots of containers to the left, more buildings. Let's go and have a look at some of these little boats. And they've done some work down here too. I mean, the port looks lovely, it's very extensive. You can hear the water lapping, which is very nice. That cruise ship looks great. So much to explore here. As you can see in the distance, you've got various buildings, hotels and things, really to make this little area city sort of thing come alive. I mean, you can see here on the buildings, it's just been nicely done. See, look, they've done signage on these little places that are miles away from the airport. Very nice indeed. So let's get back to the airport, and here you can see the runway. Let's have a look at what the lighting is like and what the signage is like, if any. Okay, here you've got the turning area. Obviously you would taxi onto the runway, backtrack and turn, because the taxiway has not been completed. So here we are looking down the runway. You've got the windsock on the left. So as I say, you would taxi onto this runway and literally backtrack. As you can see, the light's going down pretty quickly. This part of the world, you know, sunset doesn't last that long, especially at this time of the year. It's October. So this is good. You've got green centerline lighting. There are your exit signs. Nice, no problem there with the signage. Let's get on to this taxiway here. Again, green centerline lighting, just as you would need it. Blue airfield edge lights. Let's stop here, turn around, look at the signs to the runway. So there you got the sign for the runway, and you've got your lighting as well, showing you the entrance, or the holding point as it would be called. So we follow the taxiway in towards the airfield. Yeah, actually the lighting's not bad. It's come up a bit now that the sunset's literally really disappeared. It's come up nicely, it's come up a bit more. So if I just pull up a bit here, and go in towards where we're parked. Airport sign looks good. It's a little bit bright, but then I think it probably needs to be bright in order to extend the lighting onto the ramp, but looks okay. As you can see, that's pretty bright now. Let's pop inside the terminal airside and see what's inside in terms of lighting. So there you go, now you can see inside and it's actually pretty bright, and the only problem is there's no obvious light source. There we are looking in the other direction, but you know, this is fine, this is perfectly okay, it's really not a problem. It's nice to be able to see out from inside of the terminal. It would have been nice to be able to see in from the outside. It would improve the look of this. So here's the inside of the terminal that we looked at earlier. Now it's lit. It's fine. It looks perfectly okay. Love the roof structure. The roof structure looks very impressive. That's just looking in the other direction. As you can see, it looks perfectly okay. Interesting, as before, you can see out through the glass to landside, as you could from the airside one, but you can't see in from outside. I find that rather strange. So just a quick look, couple of shots here landside to show you what it's like. We're pretty much into darkness now, as you can see the sun's gone. Looking in the other direction, the signage is great, the car models are lovely, lighting's quite impressive actually. These roof structures are really good. And the palm trees just really top it all off. Very nice. So here's a higher level shot showing you landside from higher up as the sun dips further down. There's a shot looking airside from above the roof of the terminal. It looks lovely, looks very nice. Okay, let's turn it right down to night time. I'm not going to spend too long because there doesn't seem probably an awful lot of difference, but I want to get down to the darkest night and see how much this lighting extends. Okay, 9 PM local time, and as you can see, dead of night, not a hint of sunset at all. It's come up a little bit, but not by much. But you can see the green center line, and you should be okay with your nose gear light to get to this point where you park up. It looks really good. Again, I'm not going to go mad with this because you can see not a lot of difference between the dusk time. And there, just a shot looking towards runway 03 threshold. This is a real problem for me, I'm afraid. As I said, you really do not want vehicles on the runway, folks. You need to just get them off the runway. Here's your taxiway entry and exit point on from the runway, and there's the threshold and the turning circle. Here we've got another one going onto the runway. This really is not good at all. Let's just look at the old terminal in the darkness. Now this is interesting. This is the old terminal, and as you can see, it's also got internal development as it was in the features list, but the difference here is you can see inside from outside. Now this would have been perfect on the main terminal. So AIRWIL Sceneries, guys, if you're watching this review and if you're looking to do an update, I would love to see this kind of thing done on the main terminal. Get rid of the opaque windows and develop it so that you can see this. It would really improve what is already a wonderful scenery. Let's go inside here. So here we are. I mean, the way this looks, I'd be inclined to park up here because I can see inside through the glass and I think it's lovely. Nice job. Okay, no apparent light source that's giving this glow, but it's lit and that's fine. Again, nice signage, people here too. Gate signs are good and you can see out through the windows. And there you can see out landside through the windows as well. We'll go out to landside in a minute and have a quick look. And here we are looking across to the other side. I mean, this is lovely. It's just, you know, it's a big improvement. Let's get out landside. Okay, once again, you've got this opaque glass on the lower level, and you can see inside the terminal on the upper level. Looking in the other direction, you've got the same thing here. Let's go downstairs, as it were, and look inside and see if there's development. And as you can see, there is. They've got the same sort of check-in desk they have in the other terminal, but here it all looks a bit dark. But again, looking out through the opaque glass that you can't see in from outside, you can see out from inside. Let's just have a look at the landside location here. So this is the landside area from the old terminal, and as you can see, it looks lovely. It looks perfectly acceptable. Sobo globes floating all over the place here, unfortunately, but again, I'm not really going to complain that they're providing light. I would assume in the real world, this car park, if it really still does exist, they must have light poles here, although they don't seem to be modelled, and I'd prefer those to the globes. But again, more development here. Little aircraft, Cessnas, various buildings and hoardings here and there. Hangars, there you can see the runway over there to the left. This is runway 23 threshold here. Done a nice job. It's very, very impressive. So 5:30 in the morning, as you can see, the sun's coming up and casting its glow on the airport. You've got this lovely sort of reddish sunrise glow on the airport. And here you can see buses and vehicles and all sorts going up and down the runway. I'll say it once more, please remove the vehicles from the runway. Looking towards the south, yeah, though, you've got more buildings and hotels and stuff in the distance. And there's a nice shot showing you the port with the sun coming up over the mountains there on the right. Okay, 7:20 in the morning and the sun's well up, and it's time to give you my conclusions. Do I like the scenery? Yeah, no question about this. This is a nice product. For the price, in my opinion, it's a steal. Okay, it's not been done to the development abilities of the likes of Pyrig Dev Company, Fly Tamper or whatever. Certainly inside the terminals, you might argue that what they've done is fairly simplified, and yes, it is. But it's okay. It's perfectly acceptable. I have no real problem with it at all. What I do find strange, and what I would like to see in an update, you can see from outside into the terminal buildings here, and you can see bits and pieces which certainly at dusk and night time look very effective. But on the main terminal you can't. You can see out, but you can't see in. I would like to see the same level of ability on this terminal. It would make such a difference, certainly when you park up here at dusk. So guys, if you're looking to update this scenery, let's have these two terminals with the ability to see inside the lounges, and maybe just a little bit more development, and it would make it very, very, very nice. Apart from that, I've got no complaints around the airport. There's so much that's been done around the airport environment. It's a beautiful location. And the other big showstopper for me, as I said, is vehicles on the runway. Please, please, please do not have vehicles travelling up and down the runway, otherwise I just won't be able to land. Anybody who's going to treat this in terms of the sense of realism will end up overshooting time after time because of vehicles on the runway. But do I think it's worth the price? Yeah, no question about it. I've done a lot of work on this. It's beautifully modelled. It's yet another airport in Asia for us just to explore. Can't wait to do a flight in here. So there you go, folks. Davao International Airport in the Philippines. Romeo Papa Mike Delta. It's a payware scenery by AIRWIL Sceneries, version 1 for the PC. Download is 1 gig and it installs at just under a gig. It's available on Sim Market now, priced at $14.39, which equates to roughly $14.03 US or £12.44 UK. All prices include VAT and tax. The US and UK prices are estimates. The tax will depend on where you are in the world as to how much you add, but it's really cheap, and like I said, a big steal really for the amount of work that's been done here. It's great. It's a short hop from Hong Kong, about an hour and a half, so very, very nice. So this is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up another review. Guys, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. I think it's a lovely place, lovely airport. Hats off to the developers. But as I said, the only things I need to deal with is getting these vehicles off the runway. Look, there's even a bus going down there. And it would be nice to see these two terminals a little bit more developed so that you can see inside here, certainly at dusk, as you can with this one. It looks, other than that, the whole place is fantastic. So thanks for joining me, folks. Hope you enjoyed this. If you've been thinking about this, I hope this review has helped you sort of leap off the fence and make the plunge. It's lovely. So that's wrapped up this review. I'm going to try and get the review of Naxos Airport in Greece during this week, or it may have to wait till next week, but we'll see. So thanks very much, guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you in the next review. So bye for now.